Hey everybody, welcome. I'm Sean Haverson, the lead instructor this semester for the fall term, teaching your Combo Refresher at CNM. This refresher is going to be very similar to the past with a major difference, however. The course will have online modules that will start at the beginning of our class on September 7th. Though I have no requirement that you log in actually on September 7th because it is a holiday. During the first week, I do need you to log in and get a couple tasks done. We'll talk about those in a moment. The biggest thing you're probably wondering is, are we going to have to meet in person and are we going to have to meet live? Well, we won't be meeting in person because of the requirements in trying to protect everybody from unnecessary meeting because of COVID. So we will meet live, however. The live sessions that will be mandatory are actually going to be only at the end of the term, and in that we'll be meeting to work on what we would normally do in our lab session in person. So we'll be attending that by live meetings on Zoom. The rest of the term, though, we won't have any required live meetings, but I'll make myself available for Zoom interactions to answer questions weekly, especially a number of options available in the first 2 weeks of the class. During the rest of the time before the 4th, 5th, and 6th of November, which will be our final days and the lab days that we would usually attend, you will have online modules that you'll complete in Blackboard and in a third-party system that you can complete 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and as long as you get them done by the deadline, the day before our face-to-face meetings in November, you'll be fine. There won't be any other weekly requirements outside of the first week's requirements and getting everything done by the 3rd of November. Now, as you sign up to the class, you'll notice it's a combo refresher. So EMT Basics, AEMT, and Paramedics will all get something out of this course. The course is designed traditionally, because of the number of hours, to meet the paramedic requirements for a refresher. So that's what paramedics will get. The requirements of the refresher will be met and not a ton of extra continuing education hours. However, the EMT Basic and the AEMT refresher hours are a little shorter, so the extra hours that they attend in the class will make a difference of continuing education credits for them, and it will vary depending on whether you're a basic or an intermediate. Now, in the first week of classes, you'll want to review the syllabus, and I'm going to go through a little bit of the syllabus here with you now because it has some important information for that first week. So the syllabus is attached to the email that I'm linking this video to. So I'm going to turn your attention to the screen here. Now, generally, I would have office hours on campus, but that won't be the case this term. Likewise, if you were to call my desk, it would be forwarded to not necessarily a phone that I can answer live, but it'll go to my email as a message. So to skip the middleman and to make sure that we're communicating, I want you to communicate with me by email, please. My email address is listed here. I'm going to set ourselves available for office hours on Thursdays from 15 to 1600. Now, those are just a set of standard hours that I block out of my calendar, though I know they won't meet everybody's schedule. So I try my best to be flexible. If you need to meet with me for any reason during office hours or otherwise, send me an email and include, if you would, a couple days and a couple hour times that you think would be good for us to meet. And usually I'll book us about 15 to 20 minutes to get started. Now, usually I could meet something, but there may be the off chance that I can't make those 3 days. That's just the luck of it, because I do have other office hours and I am teaching classes this term as well. I'll have information on how you make sure that your email reaches me in priority. I do prioritize student emails during the term, although I receive a lot of emails overall. I have a section in here I'll highlight in a few moments that will help you make sure that your email is seen by me first before any other transactional emails will be read. Now, this course is going to meet a few different components. It will meet the combo portion of the refresher for the EMT Basic, AEMT, and Paramedic with some really good online modules. The dates here that I've listed are going to be for your reference. They include the dates that you will need to think about in reference to dropping the class. However, I'm going to focus more on the actual course deadlines that I've listed here in the syllabus since we don't have a complex schedule. The syllabus quiz and your intro discussion on Blackboard are due September 20th by 23:59 hours on Blackboard. So notice that is not midnight. That's the minute before midnight. Now that's due for the first week. Just to get started, I also need you to send me an email, and in that email you're going to tell me what level of license you have so that I can put you in the right group to access the modules. A word of caution here though, in order to gain access to the modules that you'll need to complete during the term, you'll have to pass the syllabus quiz with 100%, which isn't hard because you have multiple attempts and it's open book, and you also have to send me that email. If I don't receive the email, I won't know which unit to put you in, and so you'll be stuck in the no unit assignment, which will leave you without access to the modules until we clear that up. So it may put a little strain on the time frame that you have easy access to the online modules. Once I receive that email and your syllabus quiz is done, the actual modules will open up for you depending on your license, and you'll have similar content topics throughout the modules to other license levels, but there will be some variances based on the scope of practice of your license. Now, between that September 20th deadline and the end of the class, there are no other hard and fast dates that you need to submit things by. However, I may have some opportunities where I'll post a discussion on a topic in EMS that's happening in current affairs, and we have options to respond to that, though it won't necessarily be required. Only the intro discussion I'm requiring this term. All your modules and work must be due before we actually have our live sessions the last week of class. So that deadline for all modules is November 3rd at 23:59 Blackboard time. Then we'll have our required dates where you'll dial in. Right now we're going to be planning to use Zoom. You'll dial in and we'll break into groups and we'll work on some of the tasks that we would get done in a lab setting. Now, certainly we won't be able to do all of the psychomotor skills that we would like to do this term. The modification is going to allow us to really focus on subjects like the scenarios associated with medical and traumatic emergencies. Those live dates that you need to start booking out are November 4th, 5th, and 6th. Now, it depends on your level as to which group you're going to be assigned and how we'll log in. Right now, I'm doing this before the class starts. So by the first week of class, I will have an announcement that will show exactly what dates and times you'll need to think about so you can schedule it in advance. Noticing that this is September and this will occur in the first week of November, we do have a little bit of time to get things done. I appreciate your flexibility and your patience in this. It's an unusual term for sure, but the folks at EMS in CNM have worked really hard to make sure that we have options over spring and summer to still make this a really meaningful course. I hope you'll enjoy it. Now, I'll let you read through the rest of the syllabus, but it is important that you read through the syllabus. There's one point I wanted to highlight for communication. That's going to be on page number 5 under Communications, just after Video Conferencing and Attendance Policy. Notice here that I've outlined the actual number of our course, EMS 2015 T01 Fall 2020. Now, when you log into Blackboard, you'll see that this is the exact same way that the name of the course is attached to Blackboard in the top left corner of the Blackboard shell when you log in. This is important because I have rules set up in Outlook that will automatically, if you include this as it is in your subject line when you send an email, it will automatically show up first in my list of emails and I'll know to get to it immediately versus having to dig through many emails that aren't necessarily student related to get to your email so I can answer any questions. I'll do my best to respond within 24 hours during the week, and usually I'm able to meet that if you're following the requirements of my communication outline in the syllabus. During the weekends, though, we ask for a little bit more time. Generally, I will get back to you by Monday, and often I do actually try to still meet the 24 hours over the weekend, though I'm not obligated to it, and I won't hold you to that either. Weekends are certainly busy for all of us, and maybe that's the only time you can log in and get stuff done. So I do expect that you can email me on weekends, and it'll serve as a timestamp in case there's something that we have to do to get you back on track. If something comes up, realize that in Blackboard we have a number of tools that you can use. One of them is called Blackboard Help, and it's the 24-hour EMBANet, that's the name of the organization, chat that you can access, and they'll create a transcript that they'll email to me at the end of your interaction. They can help with things that are kind of outside of CNM's specialized control. For example, if you log into Blackboard and something isn't opening as you expect, it may be an issue with your browser, and they can help you walk through that. However, if you can't log in because your email or your password are not correct, you'll have to contact ITS services at CNM calling 224-HELP. Also, you can find tools on the CNM website by just looking for ITS help, and there's a help desk that has information that can get you started. If you call EMBANet or contact EMBANet and it's something that I exclusively have to control, they won't be able to turn on and off, even though they'll be able to see it. They'll leave that to me. They'll send me an email and I'll make the appropriate adjustments as they come up. This course is pretty highly tied together so that as you move forward, you open new modules as you complete the quizzes of previous modules. So it's really tied so tightly together that we don't want them to just make some changes because it may break the whole website for all of us, not just the trouble you're experiencing. So they send it to me so I can try and make sure that I don't break everything while I still try to help you. All right, this will be an unusual term, so I understand that there's going to be some hiccups along the way. I just ask for communication. If you communicate with me, we can probably manage almost all the problems that come up. All right, folks, I hope you're doing great. I hope you're staying safe. This will be a great term, even though we have the pandemic to deal with, because we're going to work together. All right, folks, if you have any questions, send me an email, shaverson@cnm.edu. You can always follow me on social media at shaverson and at EMS Guru. And finally, I'll have some opportunities for me to give back to the community with some free articles and free videos that I'm creating around EMS and public safety on my new website, chiefsays.com. All right, folks, be safe, take care of yourself, and take care of each other. Peace.